Well, let's jump it all day to Baton Rouge, Shane, because hey, we had more transfer portal news because, of course, we kind of hit on it on the last episode. Max Johnson enters the portal,
Hmm.
starting quarterback. Looks like he's going to go to A&M, and it's just how weird is it that he beat A&M in his final throw at LSU. Now he may suit up for the Aggies, but right before we hopped on here, Shane, big news in Baton Rouge. Myles Brennan took his name out of the portal. So
Hmm.
all of a sudden, LSU may have a veteran quarterback that he's been there for, I think, 5 seasons now, and he may be the guy. I know they got Garrett Nussmeier. They just signed another 5-star Walker Howard. So, hey, all of a sudden, LSU could go from one quarterback to three in a hurry. And,
Hmm.
you know, this is something we talked about, Myles Brennan, when he went into the portal. Really rooting for this guy because this is a guy, he was on the team before Joe Burrow. And they
Right.
brought in Joe Burrow. He could have left then. He said, to hell with this. But this is a guy that loves LSU. And, he just can't stay healthy. And when we did see him play in the 2020 season, he lit it up. I hope he can stay healthy. And maybe this will be finally his breakout season down there in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, it's kind of like a, I don't know, kind of like a Stetson Bennett story. It's just somebody
Right.
that's just been around, left, came. It's just not all the way. I mean, you got to think a few years back, him and Joe Burrow were competing neck to neck. I mean, it came down the wire for Burrow to even get the starting position. So, yeah, I mean, the SEC, you got to have a serviceable quarterback. And I'm not saying that Miles is the future or anything like that, but maybe he didn't fit the mold that Coach O had. He just never seemed like he could really shine. We don't know right now what Kelly's going to do with this offense, but I mean, he's put some quarterbacks in the league. You know what I'm saying? So I think stick around because when you're looking at an empty room of quarterbacks, well, guess who's getting the starting nod? So I'm not leaving right now. And I think this is big for LSU. They don't see it right now. I think a lot of fans aren't thinking, but, having a quarterback is a lot better than not.
And I don't know if you saw this, Shane, while we were out, but I just really wanted to get your thoughts because I'd never heard anything quite like this. But, there was so much speculation. Jimbo Fisher and LSU. Well, apparently, here's why it was, Shane. They were offering Jimbo, reportedly, according to Billy Lucci of Texags, $13 million a season, an
Golly.
8-year, $125 million contract. Oh
Jeez.
my! Imagine imagine turning that deal down. I mean, that's insane, isn't it?
You think? I mean, we did joke on yesterday's pod about the recruiting class. I mean, it's hard because the reason that they want you to make all that money is because you are successful. I know Texas A&M didn't get to have the season they wanted, but they had a lot of things go against them. I mean, hell, their starting quarterback got hurt, so I think if things could have played out a little bit different, they may have been. I mean, hell, they beat Nick Saban. I know they lost a couple games, but man, you beat Alabama. That's going to keep you another. That gives you a year extension. So I don't know, man. I think it's crazy the money they throw around for these coaches, and especially Jimbo, because part of me is like, well, he hasn't won an SEC championship. He hasn't won a national championship. He hasn't even been in the
Right.
playoffs yet, and it's like, is he worth it? But I don't know, man. I think when you look at the recruiting class he has down there at Texas A&M, it's hard to argue what they're building down there. But man, that's a lot of money to turn away from, man.
Yeah, and maybe this is a better topic for the offseason. I think it'll be something we discuss. But, I feel like even though you beat Alabama, I think this is I don't want to say a wasted year, but it's just a missed opportunity. Because, you lost to both of the Mississippi schools. You lost to Arkansas. Those are good programs. I'm not saying they're not. But with all the hype, the fact that you beat Alabama showed how much promise you got.
Yeah.
You can't lose all those games. You know what I mean?
Nope.
And can be considered an elite coach, at least not this year. So Jimbo's got some making up to do, I feel like, to the
Oh.
Texas Ags.
For sure, definitely.
And how about this real quick, Shane? Did you see Brian Kelly and his dance moves? Let's throw it up here on the YouTube if you missed it. But who's got better dance moves, Shane, you or Brian Kelly?
Oh, definitely me, man. I mean, look at that. Well, first off, I've never grinded on a young man before, but will say this. This was probably one of the most awkward things I've seen since Dabo did something similar to this, or the Hickory Dickory Dock. Oh, my God. This is one of those things. It's like somebody in the room thought this was a good idea, and I just hope it wasn't Kelly.
Well, I wanted to get you in a good mood, Shay, because that's the next one. Let's jump it all down to Rocky Top. We had some big news here.